The signs stopped. And now, you don't know what that means. There was a time, not long ago, when it felt like the universe was speaking to you constantly, almost too clearly. The right song would find you at the exact moment you needed it. Number patterns kept appearing, again and again, as if something was trying to get your attention. Conversations unfolded with a kind of precision that felt orchestrated. Nothing felt random. And in those moments, when your faith started thinning, when doubt crept in quietly, something would show up. A sign, a confirmation, a whisper that said, keep going. You learned to trust those signs. You depended on them. They became your compass. They were how you knew you were still on the right path. But then, one day, they just stopped. No warning, no explanation, no dramatic ending, just silence. And in that silence, something uncomfortable started growing inside you. A question you didn't want to fully face. What if I got it wrong? What if I misunderstood everything? What if the guidance stopped? Because I'm no longer worthy of it. That fear feels real, but what you're feeling is not what you think it is. Because the silence means something entirely different. And once you understand it, you will never walk the same way again. The signs were never the destination. They were scaffolding, temporary structures, placed with precision to hold you steady while something deeper was being built underneath you, while your faith was forming, while your strength was being tested, while your capacity was quietly expanding. Every synchronicity, every perfectly timed reassurance, every moment that felt too aligned to be coincidence, was the universe saying, not yet, still building, still strengthening. And there was nothing weak about that. That phase, it was necessary. But scaffolding is never permanent. It is removed the moment the structure can stand on its own. So if the signs have stopped, it doesn't mean you've lost your way. It means you've become someone who no longer needs them. Read that again. You are no longer being guided the same way, because you are no longer the same person. God doesn't go quiet randomly, not prematurely, not carelessly. The silence comes only when you are ready. Ready for what comes next. Ready to walk without constant reassurance. Ready to trust without visible proof. Ready to move without needing permission. This isn't abandonment. Let that sink in. This is graduation. It's the moment the teacher steps back. Not because you've been left alone, but because you've reached a point where constant instruction is no longer necessary. Because you've learned, not just intellectually, but internally. You've absorbed the lessons. You've lived through the tests. You've been shaped by the very things you once thought would break you. And now, you're standing at the edge of something new. And the next lesson? It cannot be explained to you. It cannot be handed to you in signs, symbols, or a perfectly timed reassurance. It can only be lived. This is what transformation actually feels like. And most people misunderstand this part because they expect transformation to feel empowering, clear, almost magical. But it doesn't. Not at first. Transformation feels like uncertainty. It feels like silence. It feels like standing in a space where the old version of you no longer fits, but the new version hasn't fully arrived yet. It feels like stepping into a dark room where the lights haven't turned on, and still choosing to move forward anyway, slowly, carefully, one step at a time. Not because you can see the entire path, not because you're sure of the outcome, but because something deeper inside you has shifted, because you've finally become someone who trusts, even without seeing, who believes, even without proof, who moves, not because they're certain, but because they're ready. Pause here for a second. Don't just listen, feel this, because this part matters more than you realize. There is something waiting for you on the other side of this silence, something real, something earned, something that couldn't have come to you earlier, no matter how much you wanted it. And here's why. The version of you that relied on signs, the version of you that needed constant reassurance, that version wasn't wrong. It was necessary, but it wasn't ready for what's next. Because where you're going now requires conviction, not borrowed belief, not external validation, not perfectly timed confirmation, internal conviction, the kind that doesn't shake when things go quiet, the kind that doesn't collapse when answers don't come immediately, the kind that holds steady, even in the absence of clarity, unshakable, rooted, independent of circumstances. This next chapter requires you to become someone different, someone who keeps walking, even when nothing outside of them says, go. Even when the path isn't obvious. Even when the signs are gone. Even when doubt tries to whisper louder than faith. Because now, it's not about what you see. It's about who you've become. And here's the truth that most people miss completely. The silence is the permission. Read that again. The silence is not the absence of guidance. It is not the withdrawal of support. It is not rejection. It is permission. Permission to trust yourself. Permission to stop looking outside for answers you already carry within. Permission to step forward without needing approval. Permission to finally embody everything you've been learning. Think about your life. Not quickly. Really think about it. Go back to those moments. The seasons you were absolutely convinced would break you. But somehow, they didn't. The nights you didn't know how you'd make it through, but you did. The endings that felt final, that later revealed themselves as redirections. The doors that closed, only for better ones to open when you least expected it. The prayers that felt like they were ignored, but were actually being answered in ways you couldn't yet understand. You've been carried through more than you give yourself credit for. You've been guided, even when you didn't realize it. You've been protected, even when it didn't feel like it. You were never abandoned, not once. So ask yourself honestly, why would this moment be any different? You are not being left behind. You are being trusted. Trusted with a level of faith that a previous version of you would have questioned, resisted, or even run from. But not this version. Not who you are now. Because now, you're stronger. Now, you're deeper. Now, you're more aware. And most importantly, now, you're ready. And what's waiting on the other side of this silence? It's not small. It's not average. It's not a repetition of what you've already experienced. It's something bigger. Something aligned with who you've become. Not who you used to be. Something that matches your growth, your resilience, your willingness to keep going, even when it got hard. This is something you've been preparing for without even realizing it. Through every delay that tested your patience. Through every challenge that forced you to grow. Through every moment you wanted to give up, but didn't. This silence, it's not empty. It only feels that way because you've been taught to expect noise, to expect signs, confirmations, something external to tell you what's real. But this is something else entirely. This is a threshold, a quiet line between who you used to be and who you are becoming. A final crossing, not loud, not dramatic, not obvious, but powerful in a way that only stillness can be. This is the moment where everything you've learned, every lesson, every breakdown, every time you had to rebuild yourself from nothing, is about to be put into motion. Not in theory, not in preparation, but in reality. And beyond this point is a version of your life that feels different. Not perfect, because perfection was never the goal, but aligned. Aligned in a way that feels natural. Aligned in a way that no longer forces you to question everything. Aligned in a way where things don't need to be controlled to make sense. Not effortless, because growth never truly becomes effortless, but meaningful. The kind of meaning that makes even the hard days feel worth it. The kind of meaning that replaces confusion with quiet understanding. Not loud, because real transformation rarely is, but deeply peaceful, a peace that doesn't come from everything going right, but from you finally being right within yourself. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on outcomes, the kind that doesn't disappear when life becomes unpredictable, the kind that stays, even when things don't go as planned, even when uncertainty returns, even when the path ahead isn't fully visible. And one day, not far from now, you're going to look back at this exact moment, this confusing, quiet, almost uncomfortable space you're standing in, the moment where nothing made complete sense, where everything felt like it paused, where you questioned more than you understood, and you're going to realize something that will change how you see everything. This was the turning point, not the moment things became obvious, but the moment you chose to move anyway, the moment everything began to shift, not outside of you, but within you. The moment you stopped waiting for clarity and started trusting without it. The moment you stopped asking, is this the right time? And started becoming the person who makes the time right. So, hear this clearly, and don't just hear it. Accept it. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not off track. Nothing about this moment is a mistake. You are standing exactly where you need to be. at the edge of something extraordinary. Now here's the real question, and this is where everything changes. Will you take the next step without needing a sign? Will you move without being reassured first? Will you trust even when there's nothing visible telling you to? Because this is the moment that separates who you were from who you're becoming. If something inside you felt this, if there was even a small shift, a quiet knowing, something deeper than logic, don't ignore it. Don't brush past it. Anchor it. Hold on to it. Because moments like this don't come often. And when they do, they're asking something of you. Make it real. Not someday, not later. Now. Say it. Out loud or silently. But with intention that you can feel. I understand that the silence means I am ready. And I choose to move forward with faith. Say it like you believe it. Even if part of you still doubts. Say it like you mean it. Even if your voice shakes. Say it like you're stepping into it. Because you are. No hesitation. No second guessing. No waiting for one more sign. One more confirmation. One more reason. Because the truth is, the universe didn't go quiet to confuse you. It didn't step back to test you unfairly. It didn't disappear to punish you. It went quiet to see if you would keep walking anyway. And you are. Even now, you are. You might not see it clearly. You might not feel confident every second. But look at yourself. You're still here, still moving, still trying, still choosing not to give up, step by step, even when it's slow, even when it feels uncertain, breath by breath, even when it feels heavy, even when you don't have all the answers, choice by choice, even when fear is present, even when doubt hasn't fully disappeared. You are moving forward, and that matters more than perfection ever will. And what's ahead of you? It's not random. It's not chaotic in the way it feels right now. It's not uncertainty without direction. It has been forming, quietly, aligning, behind the scenes, preparing itself in ways you couldn't see while you were busy surviving, learning, growing, just as you have been preparing, with every experience, every lesson, every moment that shaped you into who you are now. So this moment, it's not the end of guidance. It's the beginning of trust. All that's left now is for you to step into it.